It's the Sunday Morning Brew with Maddie and Elle.
Hi, Coco. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. We are starting off strong. Okay. Sorry for technical difficulties, but we are here. I'm clearly in charge of the dog today. Good morning, Elle.
Good morning. Oh my gosh. I'm so dead. I think the sleep deprivation.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Especially these late cards are killing me.
They kill me.
Petition for everything to start at 1 p.m.
I'm so here for it. I know Dave isn't, a fan of the afternoon cards, but I certainly am. But welcome in. Thank you for starting your day off with us. UFC is in the books for 2024. We are on to 2025, which is kind of wild. A lot of fun fights last night. No chill. Yeah, Cop was not boring whatsoever. That was prime Manel Cop right there. That was a fun fight.
So fast.
So
I
fast.
like this for him. I like him not waiting. And I think, Bruno Silva also is never a boring fighter. So it's very difficult to have a boring fight with Bruno Silva. But yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. And I mean, he just totally picked him apart. I was shocked. I had Manel winning, but I didn't expect him to pick him apart like that. That was friggin' crazy.
The speed was stupid.
Yeah. Stupid. Jack, my bad, dude. Think about us in the UK. We have to wait. How do you guys do that? I would be dead. I would be absolutely dead. No friggin' way. Mike, do you see this right now? My animals are fighting.
My dogs are actually being really well behaved for once. They're just sleeping on the couch.
My God.
Pantoja shows the Frenchie life, okay?
I know. I did choose it.
Dude, Pantoja's the best in the world. I really don't think there's anybody in the UFC that's beating him right now. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
Dude, Sean, I was on Petrino as well, and I thought he looked really, really good until, well, he didn't. Which brings me to the point that I've been waiting to told you so with for hours. I'm so tired of everybody hating on these new gloves. And the whole, okay, well, we're going to compare fight nights to pay-per-views to see who has more finishes. And somehow fight nights are still freaking winning. Imagine that. When the pay-per-views are naturally going to be more stacked with, higher level fights and bigger finishers. And the fight nights are still crushing it on finishes here at the end of the year. I think, like I said, we just needed an adjustment period for these new gloves. They're great. It's a good change, guys.
I thought they went back to the old gloves.
Only for pay-per-views.
Interesting.
And look at let's hold up 309 to UFC Tampa.
Yeah. Yep. 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, I think you're so right with the adjustment period. And we're seeing that with the rule set too. We're not seeing many people capitalize on the new grounded opponent rule yet. We're not seeing a lot of,
it's adjustment period.
Yeah, you gotta just work it into your game plan. It's totally different.
There's two things too I think we should talk about with the rule changes is people aren't giving as many opportunities because they know if they stay in those stalling positions now, they're going to get blasted with knees to the face. I'm not seeing anybody with this touch and go,
right,
and take it off on the ground anymore because it's too dangerous.
Exactly.
It's a great adjustment. It's making fights less boring.
Exactly. I agree. We did still see a couple of eye pokes. I know that they're supposed to prevent from eye poking, but it's all right. It
was more a story of the low blows last night.
Oh my God, dude.
Come on, buddy.
Real. Let me look at my notes here. I mean, poor Manel Cop, 3 times. Yikes. And he still looked phenomenal.
Some of those looked rough. There was one where his toe looked like it dug underneath the edge of the cup. I don't even have balls and I cringed. I was
not good. And then poor Yanez getting the twofer, eye poke and a groin shot at the same time. Now, Elle, we are women, in case people don't realize, we are women, so we don't really know the severity of that, but I think we can agree.
Imagine.
Yeah, I think we can imagine.
I need people to understand getting kneed in the pubic bone still really sucks. There's a lot of nerves and not a lot of cushion. I can't imagine what that many low blows.
Yes, 1000%. But looking at the card as a whole, super fun card. Plenty of finishes, a lot of fast-paced fighting going on. But I have to say, this was my favorite moment. Cub Swanson.
The night of the old guys.
I know. It was dope.
Michael Johnson with a big win. Like, what a night for our vets.
Yes, I was so about it. Cub looked fantastic. I mean, first of all, he just has zero fucks. Like, he clearly did not care how hard his Billy Q was hitting him. Like, he did not care. He was just walking through it all. A couple times it got a little dicey, but
close. It was a close fight, and honestly, I think Billy Q broke the cardinal rule. You don't open a gym while you're in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's tough. I think it's tough to do both. You know,
you just can't do both.
I don't think he's looked quite as good as he did, and it may also just be Father Time. You know, Father Time's undefeated unless your name is Cub freaking Swanson.
I know, 41 years old, knocking people out.
The dude fought in the WEC. Like, that's how old Cub Swanson has been around. Like, he's not just old. Like, he's not just old. He's been in wars for years.
Right.
Like, he's got a lot
of miles on him.
Yeah. Oh, I missed this. Do you have Cup as a woman? No, you do not.
Yeah, great question, Sean.
Wear like the flat, like pelvic.
There's some Muay Thai organizations that actually make you wear something called a box. I swear to God.
That's what they did.
It's overseas. I've never seen it in the States, but yeah, that's a thing.
I want to type I feel like if I type Muay Thai box in,
yeah, it might be.
I might not get what I need, and if I just
I would just avoid that search.
I'm just not going to Google that. All right.
But yes, it was definitely the night of the vets, and I was so here for it. Yeah, I mean, Cub Swanson, I think that's the perfect way to end a very awesome career. He kind of left it open-ended. I think that's a good way to end. I think that's a good way to retire, but we'll see.
No, great win. Great win.
Yeah. I just wish more fighters could be more definitive with it. Like, just take off the gloves, say you're done. Like, none of this like, oh, I don't know, we'll see.
It's hard, man. It's hard. Life is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like a life, when you feel like you have a life without purpose, that's gotta be so scary.
Yeah, and so many fighters go through that, and they just feel so lost after. It's just such a big void in a person's life when the fighting is done.
We've seen goats talk about it. Like, Volk talks about being afraid of that. It's like, dude's accomplished more than most MMA fighters will even dream of.
Mm-hmm.
And he even feels that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary switch for sure. I mean, watching my husband do that switch, I was very nervous. I was like, oh God, here we go. But luckily
he's got a good head.
Luckily we go to therapy. So go to therapy, people. You all need it. Trust me.
I'm not going to elaborate, but yes.
Punching in the crotch. Yeah. Well, actually, it was during a fight. I got kneed in the crotch, and yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was
a toe to the cooter's pretty rough too.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Anyway, any other favorite moments from last night? There were just so many wars.
Such a great card. Like, I was so excited for the Woodson Padilla fight, which did not disappoint for at least a round. You know,
right.
Honestly, I thought Padilla fought Woodson how you should fight Woodson for at least the first couple of minutes. I don't know if he was able to keep the pace, but you have to take away that space from Woodson, because for a lot of tall fighters like the clinch, I feel like Woodson doesn't use it as much. Like, he does his work at range. I feel like I'm echoing.
Not too bad.
Okay.
No.
Self-repeating. I hate that. Anyway, but like, he took away the range. He did a really good job of that early, but I feel like he just couldn't keep that up, you know. And as soon as Woodson starts finding his jab and finding his range, you know, man, his boxing is elite and his arms are so long. And I was like, well, this is interesting. Padilla's at least almost as tall as Woodson.
Yeah.
But just couldn't stay in there with him. Phenomenal boxing. I was so excited for Joel Alvarez and Drakkar Klose. Alvarez is so dangerous. And in the past, until his last fight before close. I don't know if you guys know this, but Joel Alvarez had a 0% takedown defense ratio in the UFC. And he typically did not get back to his feet when he was taken down. Like, he very much accepted bottom position, but we saw him make some really great adjustments.
Yeah. And that knockout was so freaking terrifying. That was a dead man hanging on his arm.
Ooh.
Like, I think it was the knee that knocked him out. He like rushed in with a knee, and I think it was the knee that ended up knocking him out, and just kind of like, that man was literally hanging off his forearm. Like, that's freaking terrifying.
Dude, and Azatar too was out for a while. Like, we had some nasty finishes. So I'm just waiting for everybody that was making videos on stats comparing the new gloves to the old gloves. I'm waiting for my video.
I will say they're like, a lot of the fights were like kind of, I mean, knockouts later in the fight, which I thought was interesting. There was a lot of patient fighters. Like, there were a lot of
Jacoby.
Like, he was so patient. And like, I love what he said after his win about like, yo, I hear you booing, but I know how to win. And like, I just had to be patient, and I know myself. And I'm like, hell yeah, Jacoby, fuck all them.
No,
like,
and, dude, anybody that says that they would rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight probably doesn't have a winning record.
And probably has...
Or is just insane.
Or just scared to be knocked out. Like, I felt like that fight, for the majority of the fight, they were just scared of getting knocked out. But then it's like, I think it was more of just like they respected each other's power. Yeah. And then Jacoby was just so technically careful. Yeah, just clean and careful. And it was just like, that was a crazy knockout. Dude, crazy power.
Phenomenal finishes.
Yeah, it was so fun.
I thought Petrino looked good too. I was like, I had him up. I thought he was landing hard, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you could feel his power.
Jab. Oh.
Yeah, so dense. Dense and sharp. And I had Petrino, like, I picked Petrino to win that fight. I thought it was a close fight, but I really thought he would get it done. But yeah. Jacoby just looked very, very clean.
Yeah, very clean. So on to the main event, man. I think a lot of people are very excited this morning to see that man crumble.
I saw it coming a mile away. Like, I didn't think that this fight was going to be close.
No.
I don't think Colby is the same Colby, but I also feel like Buckley has just improved leaps and leaps.
Oh my gosh. And like, think about the year that Joaquin has. Like, he's had 4 fights, 4 wins. He just continues to improve. And I thought last night he was very smart. Like, I mean, he just like put the pedal to the metal and like was so unrelenting. And I mean, Colby is a shell of his former self. Like, he is not what he used to be, but not to take away from Buckley, who just continues to like, I thought it was kind of lame for him to not call somebody out and like made the crowd like. I
thought it was kind of cool, honestly. I thought it was different. I've never seen anybody do that. And honestly, I'm glad too, because I want to see him fight Usman. That Grant and I were Grant's like, he should fight Usman before any of that happened. He's like, that's the fight I want to see, and I agree. Like, I think that's the ultimate test at this point for Joaquin Buckley. Him and like. There's a lot of exciting matchups for him, to be honest. Like, I would love to see him fight Jack Della Maddalena, but I think Usman makes the most sense. And
definitely makes the most sense. If you're looking for excitement, the Maddalena fight would be bonkers.
No, it'd be absolutely phenomenal. But
if you're looking for the smart fight, it's probably Usman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
agree with you, Jack.
Thanks, Phil. Love my tree too.
It's beautiful. I agree with Jack here. I think the doctor saved Colby, but I also agree with Christian. I do think I don't agree that the fight was getting good. I think Colby was losing that fight no matter what, whether the doctor stopped that fight or not. Like, he was getting takedowns and he was keeping them for a little bit, but he was doing 0 damage with it. Buckley was using it to get up almost every single time and devastating Colby as soon as he got back to his feet. There was I don't think there was a path to victory for Colby in that moment.
Yeah.
I agree with Dana. I don't think that fight would have been stopped in Vegas. I think
really.
Well, typically for main events, if you notice, if you go back, they don't let doctors in for main events.
Yeah.
In Vegas, typically.
Yeah.
But the cut looked way worse in the fight than it did after they cleaned it up, so it's kind of hard to tell, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of
when
those.
I was watching the fight, I was like, oh, they need to stop it. He looks terrible.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just one of those awkward places where it's like, if it is in the right spot in your eye and it is pouring into your eye and it looks that bad, first of all, the doctor's obviously going to come in. But then I heard, you could hear her say in the broadcast, like, his eyelid is falling off. And so it's like,
I thought it was going to be worse when they cleaned it up.
No, for sure, for sure. And then it's like, yeah, like freaking Aldana's face was literally coming off, and then they let her finish. So yeah,
in their defense, though, Aldana was not taking Joaquin Buckley level punches for the rest of that fight.
Yeah,
like I could see, like, when we could see the blood coming out, I could see looking at his eye and being like, okay, I'm worried he might lose his eye. Like, once they cleaned it up, it didn't look as bad. But in the fight, like, while he was fighting, it almost looked like it was bleeding from, like, in here.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was
like
bad.
He was crying like blood. It was so bizarre. And like the way he was like coming at it like this, I was like, that's so interesting. But yeah, Jack, great point. I mean, they were almost done with the fight. Like, just let him finish it. But yeah, I'm just so glad to see him lose again.
He's not the same fighter, man. No. I think after his split with ATT, he just.
Well, I think he just never evolved. Like, I think people figured him out. He's going to be.
I don't think that's the case. I just think he looks worse. Like, I think he got worse.
Well, yeah, like, I just think people figured him out of like, this is what Colby Covington does when he fights. Like, he's going to try and take you down. He's going to want to wrestle you. He's going to, like, once you know someone's game plan and they'd never change the game plan, I think it's very easy to find the win.
I mean, if we go back to the Usman fights, like, Colby's a very well-rounded fighter. He always has been. He just isn't fighting that way anymore. Like, I don't think, like, Usman had his number. Usman always had his number. I think at the time Usman had everybody's number. But I don't think he necessarily got, like, I don't want to say figured out. I just think it's like he devolved. Like, his one thing was, like, if you go watch the RDA fight, the Robbie Lawler fights, like, it's the pressure, the relentless, overwhelming pressure, the volume, the cardio. Like, he just doesn't fight like that anymore. It looks like it looks like he's afraid to get tired. And his cardio, like, I think you'll agree, was his best asset, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely. And it's just not on display anymore. Yeah. It's just not there anymore. Yeah, it's bizarre. He's going through some shit. Like, I don't know. He's either not getting pushed in the gym or he's going through some shit. I don't know.
Can we talk about this corner? What a weird.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up.
It's not a team. It's a gimmick.
It's literally, which tells me, like, where is this man training? Do we know? Where does he train? We don't even know.
He's not at MMA Masters anymore. I know that.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you're probably not training with anybody good. Like, you're probably not getting good reps. And then you're so focused on being controversial and gimmicky that you have fucking the weirdest corner ever. I think my favorite part, though, was when they had Chael mic'd up and they were like, let's go see what Kobe's corner is saying. And they weren't saying a word.
The quietest corner I've ever heard. And then good defense. And I love Chael Sonnen. I'm a huge Chael Sonnen fan.
I like Chael too. I was like, what is happening?
Like, this was a tough fight. This was a fight Colby needed to take incredibly seriously. And I don't think he had a real team.
Yeah, I think this is just, it's a weird downfall of somebody who was so close to the top and just
it's nuts.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Somebody said who was the last person he beat? It was Masvidal, right?
I think there was one more before that. I just looked at it. Let me see. Excuse me, Coco. You're kind of in my way.
Because he fought. Yeah, no, he beat. His last win was Masvidal.
Oh my God, was it really?
Last year he lost to Leon, he fights once a year.
Oh wow, yeah.
And this year he lost to Buckley.
Yeah. He's either got to make some drastic changes or I don't know.
Hang it up. I don't know what's left for him. You know, yeah. I think he made the mistake where, like, if you play a character, that's cool, but you can't become the character.
Yeah.
He seems like a very lonely man. Like, obviously I don't know him personally. I wasn't at ATT when he was there or when he got kicked out, but, like, I know people say that, like, he used to be a really nice guy.
Yep.
Like, he didn't used to be like this. And I think got
Well,
too.
yeah, I mean, he used to be a very vanilla kind of guy, and he was on the verge of being cut. So he made a decision to become the heel, and it paid off for a little while. But then it's like, bro, you can't just work on your attitude. You got to work on your game too.
And I think he went too far. Like
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen is so lovable because even though he was the heel, he like there was a very hard line and he never crossed it.
Yeah. And
Like,
he was funny.
so funny.
Yeah, he was funny.
Kobe just was like, no, I'm just gonna be an ass to everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you hate me.
And I think it worked in real life.
Yeah.
That's my theory. I think he committed too hard, and like that's why he looks like he doesn't have any friends.
I know.
You never see him with the same people. Like it seems very lonely. Everybody wants to see Chandler go to 170. I keep seeing like
I don't know. I don't know.
I
I mean,
I
why
guess
not?
I guess I could see it. I think that's a winnable fight for Colby, to be honest. But
Yeah, I don't
especially
know.
Colby's not a huge 70 pounder either. He's not a massive welterweight. Like he seems like he's pretty much stays the same size. Like he doesn't cut a ton. Looks like he was more focused on his walkout than the actual fight. Yeah.
I mean, walking out with Hulk Hogan's kind of badass, but
I was like, I like all the people in his corner.
I know.
It was just a weird
Just a
corner.
weird moment. Just
to
such a
have.
weird moment. But overall, I think the card was really good. Great way to end the year. I'll give it an A. I thought it was great. Super fun, super exciting, and it tees up a awesome 2025. There's so many fight announcements recently. Guys, we don't have fights till January 11th. Nuts.
For a month.
Crazy. Dern versus Rebus 2, so that'll be a good one. Really excited for UFC 311. There's a lot of really good fights on that one.
I will be there.
You're gonna be there.
It's Grant's fight.
Oh, duh. Yeah. I was like, you're gonna be there.
Grant's fight, Arman's fight, and Moicano's fight. So
yes. It's gonna be such a good
lightweights
card.
on the card.
It is
that
gonna
are
be
all in the
such a
ranking.
I love it. I love it. It's gonna be so good. In the main event slot, Makachev versus Sarukian. That's gonna be fun. Marab versus Umar. That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Khabib's cornering like 3 people on the card,
I
including
know.
the main and the main event.
Yeah, that's wild.
He's
That's
gonna be a
pretty
busy
cool.
man that night.
That's gonna be a really fun card. How's Grant feeling?
Oh, good. Yeah. Great.
Oh,
Training's good. Diet's good.
Yeah, gotta be disciplined for Christmas. Boo. You gotta do what you gotta do, though.
No, that's true.
And then we got Dana White officially confirming John Jones and Tom Aspinall.
I mean, he can say whatever he wants, but
I would argue that
it.
Dana is never that point blank about things he's not point blank about. Like, if something's like a rumor is swirling, he won't go out of his way to like botch the rumor. But if something's fact, he's like, yeah, 100%. So I like
said it makes me like. He was like, yeah, I guess I could say it's 100% happening. Like, I still feel like there's an opportunity for him and John Jones in the UFC to not agree on money. Like, I think it's a possibility.
So annoying. That's so annoying.
I'm happy to hear that. Hopefully it happens. That's the fight we want to see.
Yeah, and like Dana said, like he literally said this could be the biggest fight in heavyweight history, and I mean maybe modern history. I don't know, but
yeah, it's modern history.
But
the heavyweight division was a different animal.
Yeah.
15 years ago, like.
But yeah, like I mean, Elle, we're in agreement on this one. It's like Tom deserves that moment of like passing the torch. Here we go, and now it's your turn to be a star.
Or at least get his crack at it, like Jones still has it. He could absolutely still beat Tom, but we at least need the opportunity for a heavyweight star. Like
at least give him the chance.
We're seeing the changing of the guard.
A lot of Saudi Arabia fights just announced. Izzy returning to fight Imavov on a fight night. I wonder, there's a piece of me that thinks he's fine with that. Like, I think he wants to come back just kind of
low key.
Yeah. And I watched his documentary. Did you watch his documentary?
I did not watch his documentary.
It's pretty good. It was pretty good. But after watching that, and knowing everything he said in that, it kind of sounds like he was dealing with a little bit of an ego and like confidence and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I'm not really surprised that he's coming in on a fight night because maybe he's trying to just like dim the lights on him a little bit just so he can focus on the game.
It's hard, like,
yeah,
especially with how like unforgiving the fans of our sport
so
are.
unforgiving. It's so crazy. MVP versus Shara Bullet will be
That's
good.
interesting.
That's a good one. That's a good one. If I'm not mistaken, MVP towers over Shara Bullet.
Height wise,
I think so.
Shara's pretty big. Let me see.
I guess in my mind he's just a lot smaller. Oh, he's 6'2". Okay.
Cool. But how tall is MVP?
Let's see. He's probably like 6'5".
No.
He's big, dude. He's big.
Let's see. Heights.
Let me see.
He is 6'3". So they're about the same height.
Okay. All right. I don't know why in my head Shara's small. He's definitely not.
He's definitely not. Those are some big boys.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a really fun fight.
Yeah. And I think that I know I say this a lot. I like MVP, but he's not exciting to me for the overall fight. He's exciting in bursts. Like he's a sprint.
Well, yeah, he's a sport karate guy.
And he's, at range, picking his shots. I feel like Shara won't really let that happen. I think he's just going to constantly be bringing the pressure and the fight to MVP, which is very hard to do because of MVP's movement.
Right. I was going to say, I was like, that's kind of everyone's game plan. And then he still manages to
make it kind of boring.
Keep the range. And like, he has those silly jump knees that like scare you from coming in, and then it's like
an awkward angle,
the twitching, and like the fast like fakes. It's so hard to read sometimes. But I think Shara definitely gives him a run for his money for that fight. I think that's going to be really fun. And then women making history over in Saudi. First women's MMA fight in Saudi Arabia. Jasmine Jasdavicius and Myra Bueno Silva.
We're going to have Jazz back on here pretty soon.
Yes, I would love that.
That first UFC women's fight in the Saudi.
So cool. Making history. That's going to be fun. Myra coming down in weight.
I know. I'm like, it's been a long time.
Yeah, like, oof, that's scary to have to come down, but I'm sure she's got, best of the best getting her down to the right weight. So
I don't know that she's doing any of her camp here. I think they moved back to Brazil.
Oh, well, you just answered Christian's
question. I did just answer your question. I haven't seen them. I think they got a place in Brazil. So I'm honestly not sure. I haven't been in the gym much. I've been dealing with injuries and stuff, so I don't really know, but I haven't seen them. So I think she's doing this camp there. I don't know if they're planning to come back for a camp, but I know they moved back. So we will see. We will see if there's a good change for her or not. To flyweight, but yeah,
a lot of fun fights coming
for both of them. Good grapplers, so
yeah,
love watching Jasmine wrestle. I think her wrestling is so good for MMA. Just overall.
I was gonna say her MMA wrestling is so much fun because she's constantly doing something, constantly. It's so fun. But yes, 2025 going to be awesome. Really excited for the Fight Bananas podcast on Tuesday because we are going to be doing superlatives. Best knockout. What else? Best performance. I don't even know. I'm like
fighter of the year.
There we go. Yeah, hold on. Dave sent us the list.
Official list.
Let me see. All right. Fight of the year. Fighter of the year. Female fighter of the year. Breakout fighter of the year. I like that one. KO of the year. Sub. Newcomer. Show of the year. Upset of the year. These are fun. I have a lot of homework to do.
I already have mine.
You have all of them already? Do you want to share any of them?
No, we gotta wait for Tuesday.
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm gonna stir the pot, though. I'll tell you that.
Shocking.
Shocking.
Well, definitely tune in on Tuesday. It's gonna be a really fun show. It's fun because like these like superlatives like this, I feel like we may have some overlapping ones, but I have a feeling we're gonna pick like totally different ones. So it's gonna be great.
It's fun. I think there's always somebody that kind of gets like left out of the conversation for the Fighters Only Awards because they're not in the UFC or so. I always think it's fun to do your own.
Right. Okay. So this is like not just the UFC. Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
even the fighters only. Henan Fajeda was on the list for Fighter of the Year, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah.
or Breakout Fighter of the Year. So
Marisa Pacheco,
definitely,
yeah.
explore your options.
All right. Okay. Awesome. Well, definitely join us on Tuesday. And as always, thank you for hanging out with us this morning. Elle has a Christmas tree to get to.
Spoiler alert. Let's go on.
Oh my God. You're so funny. All right. Tune in on Tuesday, Christian, and everybody else. Have a great Sunday. Peace out.